Hello there, and welcome to what if Anakin went to Kamino while Obi-Wan protected Padme. The Clone Wars were about to erupt across the galaxy. After the assassination attempt on Senator Padmé Amidala, the Jedi Order was thrown into turmoil. In the original timeline, Jedi Knight Obi-Wan Kenobi was tasked with following a mysterious trail of clues that led to the shadow planet Kamino, home to a secret clone army. Meanwhile, Anakin Skywalker was left to protect Padme, walking a dangerous path that would ultimately lead him to darkness. But what if things had been different? What if Anakin insisted on following the investigation himself, pursuing the Kamino lead directly, while Obi-Wan stayed behind to protect Padme on Naboo? In this timeline, Anakin's impulsiveness and hunger for justice would shape his destiny in unexpected ways, while Obi-Wan's steady hand would guard Padme, and their intertwined fates would shift the course of the war. The galaxy teetered on the edge. Choices made now would echo for history. This is the story of what happened when Anakin went to Kamino, and Obi-Wan protected Padme. The night was dark and tense on Coruscant. Zam Wesell's desperate flight through the city streets endured abruptly, struck by the mysterious Kaminoan saber dart. Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi gave chase, but this time, Anakin refused to let Obi-Wan take the lead. He snatched the dart from Zam's dying hand and took it to Dexter Jettster, an old friend of the diner and a knowledge of the city's undercurrents. "Kamino," Dexter said, wiping his hands on his apron. "A watery world. Not on any public charts. Very secret." Anakin's heart quickened. The shadow of the Sith was reaching deeper than anyone suspected. He didn't wait for permission. He reported to the Jedi Council, but his words were met with skepticism. Mace Windu's eyes narrowed. "Impulsive as ever, Skywalker." Yoda's voice was calm but wary. "Caution we must use. Yet proceed. You may." Anakin boarded a Jedi starfighter bound for Kamino, the rain-soaked clouds parting beneath him like a veil lifting on a hidden truth. On Kamino, the sterile howls echoed with secrets. The clone army, forged in secret, the genetic template Jango Fett. Anakin's instinct screamed. This was bigger than politics, bigger than war. This was the beginning of a new destiny. While Anakin pursued Kamino, Obi-Wan Kenobi remained steadfast in his duty, protecting Senator Padmé Amidala. Together they traveled discreetly back to Naboo, the serene homeworld shrouded in uneasy peace. Unlike Anakin's fiery urgency, Obi-Wan approached their mission with measured caution. He and Padme shared quiet conversations beneath the swaying trees and peaceful lakes, discussing the fragile state of the Republic and the growing darkness threatening to consume it. Padme confined her fears, not just for her life, but for the Republic's soul. "The Senate is unraveling," she said softly. "We stand on the edge of chaos." Obi-Wan listened carefully, his senses sharpened. Somewhere beneath the surface, he could feel the dark currents stirring, the elusive presence of the Sith, manipulating events from the shadows. In moments stolen from duty, Obi-Wan sought guidance through meditation, reaching out through the Force to his old master, Qui-Gon Jinn, though the connection was faint. Qui-Gon's voice echoed softly in his mind. "Trust the living Force, Obi-Wan." Together, Obi-Wan and Padme prepared, not just to survive, but to face the darkness, head on. Following the lead from Dexter Jettster, Anakin raced to the distant ocean world of Kamino, determined to uncover the truth behind the mysterious assassination attempt. Upon arrival, he was struck by the sterile endless rain and the strange clones working tirelessly in vast facilities. There, he met Jango Fett, the elusive bounty hunter who served as the genetic template for the clone army. Suspicion sparked immediately. Anakin's instincts told him Jango was more than just a contractor. Something darker lurked beneath his calm exterior. Without hesitation, Anakin confronted Jango. Their duel was fierce and reckless, Anakin's lightsaber and Jango's blasters clashing amidst the swirling storms of Kamino's endless rain. Fueled by anger and distrust, Anakin tapped deeper into the dark side than ever before, pushing his limits. Jango narrowly escaped a deadly fight, fleeing towards Geonosis with his young son, Boba Fett. But Anakin was relentless. Piloting his Jedi starfighter, he pursued the fleeing bounty hunter through the stormy skies. As Anakin transmitted his findings to the Jedi Council, he insisted on following Jango alone to Geonosis, driven by his aggressive resolve to stop the threat. Meanwhile, Count Dooku sensed the growing danger. "Skywalker is coming," he murmured. "Not Kenobi." Anakin landed covertly on the harsh red deserts of Geonosis, infiltrating the Separatist droid foundries alone. His fury shimmered beneath the surface, fueling every step. But the moment he was discovered, Count Dooku stepped forward, calm and calculating. "You rush into darkness, Skywalker," Dooku said smoothly. "The Jedi Council fears your recklessness, but I see your potential." Dooku tried to tempt Anakin, planting seeds of doubt about the Jedi and their rigid code. "Why serve those who distrust you? Join me, and together we can bring order." Before Anakin could respond, Obi-Wan arrived with Padmé, who insisted on accompanying him after losing contact with Anakin. The trio was quickly captured by the Separatist forces and chained like before, a tense reunion, but with a different dynamic. Moments later, the Jedi strike team arrived, led by Mace Windu. The ensuing battle erupted in chaos, but this time, Anakin was different. Stronger, angrier, more precise. His fierce determination alongside Obi-Wan's steady defense created an unstoppable force. Together, they overwhelmed Dooku before Yoda's arrival, forcing the Sith Lord to retreat. Rather than slay him, the Jedi took Dooku captive, a gamble that shifted the balance. The Clone Wars had officially begun, but this time, with the Jedi holding a new edge. With Count Dooku in chains, the Republic stood taller than before. The war had begun, but the Jedi had struck a powerful first blow. And at its center was Anakin Skywalker. Across Coruscant, Anakin was celebrated as a hero. Senators praised his boldness, clones admired his strength, and Palpatine saw an opportunity. He pulled Anakin closer, praising his instincts, reinforcing the idea that his strength came because he defied the Jedi restraint. But the Jedi Council was less thrilled. While grateful for Anakin's actions, they grew wary of his growing power, his unpredictable temper, and how close he'd gotten to the Chancellor. Yoda especially sensed the storm within him. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan, recovering from the battle, remained at Anakin's side. He urged his former Padawan to slow down, to reflect, to train with patience. But Anakin, emboldened by success, found it harder to listen. Even Padmé saw the change. Their bond, forged in secrecy, deepened in silence. And though they hadn't yet married, the emotions ran stronger than either admitted. Dooku, under constant Jedi interrogation, began unraveling secrets. Vague mentions of Darth Sidious, a hidden Sith Lord who had been manipulating both sides. Now, the Jedi had a confirmation. The Sith were not just alive, they were embedded within the very heart of the Republic. The Clone Wars had begun under different terms, but the darkness had not been avoided, only delayed. Anakin stared at the Coruscant skyline, unsure of what he'd become. Hero? Jedi? Or something else entirely? In the days following Geonosis, Anakin's name spread like wildfire. A young Jedi who had discovered the clone army, captured Dooku, and struck fear into the Separatists. To the Republic, he was a symbol of hope. To Chancellor Palpatine, he was something more valuable. Palpatine began meeting with Anakin more often, in his office, in private chambers. Sometimes they were walking together through the Senate corridors. He spoke not like a politician, but like a mentor, a friend. The Jedi fear you because you're different, Anakin, because you're stronger. Anakin, meanwhile, felt more isolated from the Jedi Council than ever. Despite his accomplishments, they still held him at arm's reach, praising his deeds, but questioning his methods. They refused to grant him the rank of Master, citing his emotions volatilistically. Obi-Wan noticed a shift. The bond between Master and student grew strained. Anakin no longer came to him for advice. He turned to Chancellor. Still, Obi-Wan remained hopeful. He believed Anakin could find his way back. But the cracks deepened. Padmé and Anakin grew closer in the shadows of war. With the Republic descending into chaos, they found comfort in each other, and finally, they married in secret. Yet unlike the original timeline, Obi-Wan sensed the truth. He confronted Anakin, quietly. I know, Obi-Wan said, and I won't report you, but you must be careful. Love can make us stronger, or blind us. Anakin, defensive, argued back. Maybe the Jedi are wrong about attachments, about love. Maybe comparison is strength. Elsewhere, the Jedi continued to interrogate Count Dooku. His words were cryptic but disturbing. The dark side is not coming. It is already here. The Republic is a corpse, propped up by a shadow. The Council began to suspect the unthinkable, that the Sith Lord they'd long hunted might already control the Senate, might even be the Supreme Chancellor himself. Yoda, disturbed by Dooku's claims and Anakin's growing unrest, entered a deep meditative trance. What he saw chilled him, a galaxy on fire, the Jedi Temple in ruins, and Anakin, cloaked in darkness. standing alone atop a mountain of ash. The future was no longer clear, and Palpatine knew his time to act was approaching. Palpatine had been patient, calculating, manipulating events from the shadows for over a decade, but with Dooku captured, Anakin rising, and the Jedi growing suspicious, the Sith Lord could feel his empire slipping through his fingers. So he made his move. Using loyal agents embedded within the Republic, Palpatine orchestrated the prison break, not just to free Count Dooku, but to unleash chaos across the galaxy. Explosions rocked the detention facility, clone guards were overpowered, and just like that, Dooku was gone. The war reigned with terrifying speed. Separatist worlds that had started surrendering suddenly rebelled again, emboldened by Dooku's return. Entire fleets vanished, systems collapsed into anarchy, the Republic panicked, and the Senate begged Palpatine for stronger authority. Emergency powers must continue, for the safety of us all, he told them, and they cheered. Meanwhile, Anakin felt torn in two. On one side, he saw Obi-Wan and the Jedi Council, increasingly secretive, rigid, cautious. On the other side, Palpatine, direct, open, empowering. Padmé tried to reach him. The Chancellor is using you. This war will never end if he keeps holding power. And Anakin felt something else. Resentment. He had saved the galaxy at Geonosis. He had proven himself. And still, Mace Windu wouldn't grant him the rank of Master. Still, the Council treated him like a liability. Palpatine's words echoed louder. The Jedi Council fears your strength. They will never allow you to change the galaxy. But I will. Obi-Wan grew deeply concerned. He confronted Anakin, not as a master, but as a brother. I've stood by you from the start. But this path, it's leading somewhere dark. I see it in your eyes. Anakin lashed out. You don't understand. None of you do. But that night, Anakin had a nightmare. Padmé's death. A vision he couldn't ignore. Desperate for answers, he turned to Yoda, who told him, "Death, a natural part of life it is. Let go of all your fear to lose." But Anakin couldn't accept that. Wouldn't. The fear was too strong. Palpatine saw his opening. He invited Anakin to his office, gently, even warmly. There are some who consider the Jedi's reduction of emotion to be unnatural. What if I told you the dark side holds power they would never teach you? Anakin froze. And then, the truth. Palpatine revealed himself. Darth Sidious, not with a cackle or a saber, but with calm certainty. I am the only one who can save Padmé. The only one who understands you. But the Jedi, they will never allow it. Anakin's world shattered, but instead of drawing his weapon, he ran, straight to Obi-Wan. He's the Sith Lord. Palpatine is Sidious. Obi-Wan's face turned to stone. Then it's worse than we feared. And this time, the Jedi would not wait. The Jedi Council had debated, delayed, and meditated for years. But not this time. With Anakin's revelation, the truth was undeniable. Palpatine was Darth Sidious, the Sith Lord who had orchestrated the Clone Wars and manipulated the Republic into submission. No more secrets, no more shadows. The response was immediate. Mace Windu, Yoda, Obi-Wan, Plo Koon, Kit Fisto, and Anakin formed the strike team. No politics, no Senate, vote, just action. For once, the Jedi moved with unity and purpose. They stormed the Chancellor's office, lightsabers ignited. Palpatine was waiting, cloaked in darkness, unmasked, unafraid. So, the traitors revealed themselves at last, he hissed. You were always too late. And then, the galaxy trembled. An epic duel erupted, far more intense than anything in the original timeline. Yoda and Sidious hurled Senate pods and force blasts at each other in a battle of ancient powers. Mace Windu fought with raw, focused fury, the pod channeled perfectly into purpose. Plo Koon moving swiftly, using electric judgment and his ancient techniques to fight off Sidious. Kit Fisto, using his perfected Form 1 technique, moved around like a blur. Anakin and Obi-Wan, side by side, flowed like one mind, flipping, defending, attacking in synchronized mastery. Sidious was no longer playing both sides. He fought to kill. The Jedi are using you, he roared at Anakin. Kill them. Join me and end this war forever. Anakin hesitated, then stepped forward, only to disable Sidious with a crushing force hold, pushing him to his knees. You've already lost, Anakin said, not because I'm stronger, but because I choose not to become you. Yoda delivered the final blow, not out of vengeance, but justice. The Dark Lord of the Sith fell not in triumph, but in defeat. And with that, The galaxy shifted. Palpatine's death exposed the web of lies. Emergency powers were revoked. The Senate reorganized. The war ended with weeks. Most separatist systems surrendered without Sidious manipulations. Count Dooku, recaptured and broken, was placed on trial. But the biggest change came within the Jedi. Yoda, deeply reflective, led a reformation of the Jedi Order. Less rigid doctrine, more openness, compassion, and adaptability. Anakin Skywalker was honored, respected not only for his strength, but for his wisdom in resisting the dark. He was granted the title of Master, and not just ceremonially. He had earned it. Obi-Wan stood by his side, no longer mentor and student, but brothers in arms. Padmé and Anakin were happily married. Their marriage was no longer in secret. In this new republic, compassion wasn't feared, it was embraced. The clone troopers were no longer enslaved by hidden programming, were given freedom to choose lives beyond war. Yoda, sensing that balance had been restored, quietly stepped away from Coruscant to meditate, to guide the future from afar. Anakin stands atop the Jedi at dawn, Padmé at his side. Obi-Wan walks beside him. Anakin looks out at the cityscape, a galaxy scarred, but healing. He speaks softly. I thought power would save me, that it was choice. I thought fear made me stronger, but it only blinded me. The darkness didn't win, because I chose to be better. Then, the camera pans up to the sky. Twin suns rising beyond the skyline, not just over Coruscant, but over a new era. An era of peace, and an era of balance. And that is it for what if Anakin had gone to Kamino and Obi-Wan went to protect Padmé, or whatever I call this what if. Everyone, I think I like this what if a lot, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this what if too, man. Like, it was a pretty relatively nice length what if. A little shorter than usual ones, but still relatively the same length. Anyway, again, I hope you guys enjoyed this what if. If you did, comment down below what you thought, any suggestions you have for any future what ifs, and really anything. I do appreciate all comments, as I do love to get feedback. Also, do subscribe if you guys enjoyed, as we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. And once we do reach 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be doing a face reveal on the channel. Like the video and turn notifications on to be notified about next time I post a Star Wars what if. Also, if you want to support the channel and get exclusive perks, consider joining our Patreon, link in the description, and please do join our Discord server, link is in the description as well to that. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. This is the way, and may the Force be with you. Until then, I will see you next time. Hey, you didn't watch it? Well, check out the video on the left side of the screen, which is specifically recommended for you, or check out the playlist on the right of the screen, which contains similar videos to this one, made by me, of course. Hey, remember, subscribe.